Hi, I'm Marian Reed, and in this video, I am going to focus on data visualization as a new digital literacy that generalists like you and I should learn more about, and even learn how to produce ourselves. As consumers of data visualizations, we can learn new insights about news topics, scientific discoveries, social media use, and much, much more. By developing our visual literacy skills, we can be aware of the storyteller's message, such as the editorial perspective of a news team that produces a data visualization. This new literacy can spark our critical inquisitiveness to investigate about the source and the quality of the data. And since we know that big data is not the same as scientifically collected data, we will know what sort of statistical evidence to accept or to reject. And we can become storytellers ourselves using open source data sets and visualization software. And by working with the data sets, we'll find new ways of analyzing and presenting the data, and we will share with others our new insights. Perhaps our data visualizations will present totally novel findings, never observed before. Data visualization and getting new insights is not new. What is new in the 21st century is the explosion of data, which has been generated from all sorts of instruments, sensors, internet transactions, emails, video, clickstreams, and other digital sources. And the power of the new ways of envisaging data was compellingly presented in a Hans Rosling's iconic 2006 TED Talk. In this talk, he took a wide range of data from various government and UN sources and presented surprising evidence about the pace of development in 200 countries over 200 years. But let's back up a bit. Before big data was all the rage, there were principles, both for reasoning about statistical evidence and for the design of statistical graphs. Edward Tufte developed a set of principles that many visual designers as well as scientists have adhered to since the 1990s. So what are these principles that relate to visual design and storytelling? The principles include paying attention to features that affect how our attention is brought to a particular graphic. These features include things like color, size, and orientation, as well as cultural factors, such as the fact that we read from left to right. There are other factors about how our attention is drawn to grouped content, or how arrows powerfully direct our attention. And in the most current type of data visualization, there's animation, which focuses our attention on a particular object and de-emphasizes secondary detail to help keep us oriented. So when you look at a data visualization, such as those found in the New York Times, for example, be aware that all these principles have been used to influence how you understand the story. Check how the New York Times designers ensure that we understand the context of a graphic and the interpret of its key messages by adding careful labels and introductions and exploratory text and captions in addition to the visual features. As Gray states, quote, "The danger inherent in a visual medium is that the power of the image will overwhelm the substantive content that it represents. In addition to understanding the visual design elements, we must realize that if the underlying data is of poor quality, no amount of elegant graphics can compensate for this. Therefore, understanding the methodology that produced the data is essential." So, empowered with the knowledge about visual literacy principles and of the affordances of big data, we need to take advantage of the new insights that big data visualizations can provide. And as Natasha Singer of the New York Times wrote, quote, In an uncharted world of boundless data, information designers are our new navigators. We know that these navigators are not necessarily scientists applying statistical methods, but more frequently journalists or new data visualization designers like you and me, telling a compelling story. That's it. Data visualizations can be highly informative, and often they are very, very beautiful to view.